Whoopsies, it's the end of 2023 and I didn't post nearly enough videos. I had a little bit of a haircut. I'm going to be completely honest. My desire to say stuff online is at an all-time low. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be doing this. Don't talk about it as if it's like a chore to do. Just don't bother. And you're right. That's what I'm thinking too. Why would you post about something and just complain about it while you're doing it? I agree. And yet we're still here. And I'm doing little drawings and I'm making little things. And I'm also just getting by, sitting around, struggling, trying my best, doing lots of work and not having much time. We can all relate. And then we all gather around this little entity, little internet box, and we're all just here. We're all seeing stuff, saying stuff. It gets to be a lot, doesn't it? People come out and they draw little police vans with graffiti all over it that say ACAB. And there's someone watching this right now who's very triggered, and they're about to tell me about their uncle Gaza, who's a policeman, and he was great, and everyone liked him. And are you insulting him? And yet we still continue to post these little videos and make them. I want to try and articulate that feeling of, I guess it's dualism. It's not really though. I'm just clutching at words in my brain. Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before, but like the idea of you want to achieve something or you want to impart an idea to someone, the way you might say it, literally, could be completely different. You say one thing to someone, and they go, oh yeah, I understand that, totally, sweet, done. You say the exact same sentence to someone else, and they punch you in the face. They're insulted. They're like, how dare you say that? And I don't even mean like rude things. I'm talking, maybe that wasn't a good example. If I just said, oh hey, can you pass me that? Someone might do it instantly. If I say, oh hey, could you pass me that to someone else? They might be like, that's not the way. Their reaction to that is going to be, oh, that's not the way to ask me to do it. And in fact, I'm now going to say a joke back to you because I feel insulted that you've asked me to pass you something. I'm not going to do it. Taking it up another notch, I'm talking about the weird psychological level of words. How someone has heard something in the past and it's made them think and do and act a certain way. You want to translate ideas to other people. There might be a room full of other people. That's what I'm imagining, really. There's something I might say that might just lead someone down to some crazy, unique path of thoughts and ideas, and someone else they're just like, you're talking bullshit. That doesn't relate to me in my life. You might even be like, oh, I totally get that, but that's not relevant in any way to my experience. I think I'm just going back to an age-old topic here of words and their meanings. On this channel, I feel like I've got a video probably somewhere where I'm saying exactly the same thing. But I think we would all do better if we allowed ourselves to let ourselves hear something that we maybe don't agree with or think we understand, but are responding quite dramatically and reactionary to maybe take a step back and think how, someone else might also hear it and they're just like, oh yeah, that was obvious. It was obvious to them. It didn't cause them much maybe reaction. It's not news to them. The idea isn't that far out. But for you've heard something, you've gone, Jesus, that's really affected me and my beliefs. And not to use the word trigger, but it's triggered some wild thoughts and reactions in your head. Like with something like ACAB that has been around for a long time. I just Googled like the history of it, and it's interesting to see that things like having an association with crime, bad, but then it leads you to the whole idea, well, what is crime? What is law? What is that's a weird human construct. And not even, I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole of discussing the philosophy and psychology of the law system. But it's just interesting that a phrase like this has sparked so much reaction. For certain people's perspectives, it's just kind of like an obvious... We can spend years trying to phrase things in the perfect way so that everyone agrees with it, but you're not going to really get anywhere with that. By the time you finish, it'll be like the Ents in Lord of the Rings, when they're standing around saying hello and discussing what they should do, and it takes them forever. Sometimes you just gotta, you gotta be a hobbit and just get muck in there, get to it. And I fully stand by this little graffiti piece. And what's obvious to me is that the policing systems in this country and everywhere is messed up. Not to I don't know. I sometimes feel like I say things in like a really obvious, bumbling, simple, very British sounding way, but I just think it's pretty clear to see the world would be a better place with more social workers, care workers, people out there actually fixing problems rather than like a militant, violent brigade of random people that don't prevent crime, but just effectively beat up poor people and work essentially at the will of higher powers, and that don't really contribute much. I saw a great TikTok that was just a simple little, I don't know, someone asked someone a question. Let me look it up. Yeah, it was just a little answer to some news. It was some random person, and they said, crime is a social issue that can be solved by giving people their basic needs. And effectively, that's the truth. All the arguments against the idea that like the police are out of touch, unnecessary, and not working, and actually a negative thing. People who argue against that instantly jump to this idea that a quote unquote criminal is gonna do something to you, steal from you, attack you, and whatever. And they just say like, oh, so if there's police not around, what are you gonna do then? That's like the number one argument, isn't it? And it's like, well, number one, they're not going to stop that person anyway. Police are there after the fact, aren't they? They're not really preventing crimes from happening. They still happen. And then number two, there's a reason why crime happens in more poverty-stricken areas. Police day to day is essentially just stopping poor people from committing crimes. Where are they when they're after the high-level crime, the corruption in politician, government, etc.? Rich people, businesses, bankers, this strict like, oh yes, they are doing good and they're stopping crime. It's mostly just, oh yeah, let's assault a poor person for trying to get by. Anyway, this video got out of hand. This is like probably the last video of the year. I didn't want to go down this tangent for too long. I'm just drawing graffiti on a van, but it's the end of the year, and I just feel I just want you to know I'm feeling a little bit down about my whole internet presence and my creation of art and the way things are going. It's a tricky one. What's weird is that I'm always amazed and surprised at the amount of people that find my stuff, particularly my pixel art stuff, and get in touch to commission me. When I've I've made videos saying like, oh, commission me to do stuff, but I've never really properly advertised. I've never got in touch with that many people. I've never like done one of those commission sheets. And I think one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video was me saying a few things that I'm hoping and planning to do early next year. I'm feeling like I want to do a bit of an update, a bit of a change, a bit of a, I don't know, make some new stuff. I'm still planning on making some more Dungeons & Dragons character art things. Also thinking about making a new little animation for the start of my videos, getting a little bored of my intro at the moment. I'm thinking about doing some new pixel art because I haven't done much pixel art in a while. I know lots of people sort of follow me for. Yeah, I just think I wanted to talk about how I'm feeling. Like, it's strange. I think people go through phases. Maybe I've taken a step back, kind of almost from posting. I like the mood that I sometimes get in when I like just saying random shit and typing it out or whatever on my posts and being a bit like trying to create some sort of eclectic vibe of internet junk to throw out. But at the same time, I also think I go through phases where it's like, I don't even want to say anything. I don't want to even write anything. It's a tricky one making these videos. I'm in a lull with it. I've still got those other character designs that I want to post. I guess I just wanted to say I'm always just continually impressed and like feels great just whenever I do post random shit that people do want to watch this. They do like seeing my art. I only like posting when I've got something that I'm happy with. You know, I only like posting when it's like something that a drawing, an illustration, an idea that I'm actually interested and excited in. And just the idea of just forcing out stuff doesn't excite me. I'm kind of just tiptoeing around the word burnout because I feel like it just gets used a lot and it's just a thing that everyone speaks about. All artists are like, blah, burnout, burnout, burnout. I'm bored of it, but it's real. Talking about like New Year's resolutions. I mean, yeah, my New Year's resolutions are just to have a little update of my YouTube stuff, to try and do some more art, get back to the graphic novel, lol. To post more about my commissions, like my to make a bigger deal out of like what I'm offering in terms of my little GIF landscape things, and also like I've done some cool drawings for other people and like that's separate from this. An idea that I had of illustrating people's houses, because I've like done that for my family. I did like the local pub that my dad goes to, and they're like selling prints of it now, and it's just like, that's a cool idea as well. So that's something I should sort of get into and offer more. I think I need to stop procrastinating so much. And I don't mean things like stopping hobbies like playing video games. By the way, I'm about 160 hours into Baldur's Gate 3. We replayed a little chunk of it, and that's why I think it's so high. But we're well into Act 3, but we're not near the finale yet. We've done quite a lot of stuff in the city, but it's going good. Yesterday, I also platinumed Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Incredible game. I'm excited to start maybe some new games over this like little Christmas break. But yeah, that is to say, I don't mean that type of procrastination. I think sleep, valid. Hobbies, cooking, not doing stuff, valid. But just the mindless scrolling, that's what I need to stop. And having said that, it's not really about the stopping of something bad. It's just the more I need to get back into that place where I was feeling so good about all the little sketches and drawings I did. Some of the coolest stuff that I've done is like the little designs, the little prints. I've got them around here. Like this little weird frog gashapon machine. I like this. This was just a little doodle I did in my sketchbook, and it came out really good. And I was like, I'm gonna scan that in and color it in. So it's not about stopping things. I'm rewriting it. I'm saying it's about doing more, spending some more time, just doing some doodling, doing some creative stuff. I want to get back into that place where I'm constantly. I went through a big phase of just, you know, being hyped about making YouTube videos, getting hyped about making drawings, and I've just been doing that less. And you know, partly is because of doing work, partly it's other things, but I wanna make a little concerted push to at least, I don't know, do a few new things that feel like a change. I'm worried I've kept you here for a long time, and all I've done is sort of moan about procrastinating and the internet and sort of lecture people about ACAB. We've been watching Fargo. That's a great show, by the way. You should watch Fargo. It is good. We've watched the first 3 seasons. Season 1's great all the way through. I think season 2 and 3 are both slow to get going. It feels slow up until like episode 4, 5. It's very Twin Peaksy. There's a lot of Twin Peaks stuff, vibe, energy. A lot of Twin Peaks energy to Fargo sometimes. There's just some really like surreal moments that are very enjoyable, and they sort of have that element of weird spirituality, creativity that hits for me. Sparks sort of creativity. And I think I just need to engage with some more stuff like that. Like I need to get around to reading some of the books that I have been collecting this year. I've got like a stack of 8 books that I haven't even read. I did think it would be cool to do like a little roundup and like look back at some of the things maybe I've either drawn or like movies, films, or like films, books, games that I've really enjoyed. But I can't even think. You know, one disappointment? I just want to moan about some video games right now, but I'm like 10 hours into Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just not interested in it. There are some people that like lose their mind and say it's like the greatest game they've ever played. And I was just like, did you play Breath of the Wild? Like, does Breath of the Wild not like sort of take some of the shine away? I know people describe it as like, oh, well, Breath of the Wild is alright, but Tears of the Kingdom is amazing. For me, I'm like saying, I spent 100 hours in Breath of the Wild, and like they've added some new stuff. And I'm sorry if that's really got on your nerves, me saying that, but that's how I feel after I've started it. I think it's just because Baldur's Gate I'm so engaged with, and I'm like loving it, and also like 100 hours in that. Maybe I just don't have the time or like interest to keep going. But I've just stopped. I haven't played it in ages. I just, I've got like the mission that essentially tells you to go to all 4 corners of the map, and I'm like standing there in the field like, yeah, these puzzles are really cool, but literally nothing is surprising me. I'm planning on maybe playing a little bit of Sifu. I've been looking at I know about Sifu. It was something that I saw. I think at the time when it came out. It came out ages ago. I think I saw it at the time. I was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks alright. And then it went off my radar. And now I've seen it recently being played, and I was like, that actually looks very addictive and fun. So I might give that a go. And the art is really cool. Yeah, it's just been Fargo. We watched the film as well, and now we're watching the series. It's great. I love it. Just love. Speaking of cops, Fargo obviously definitely has a critique of the authorities for sure. You can't not. But it is funny that so many things still sort of. It's something I am genuinely interested in is like how to tell how to tell a story, because it's such a go-to thing for like action, thriller, whatever, a detective, mystery. The police and detectives, they always play a role in the thing. There's the criminal, blah blah blah. Who's the hero? Who blah blah blah. It just feels like it's so inherent to films and stories like that are about crime. I'm genuinely interested like in things like how do you tell a story about it without maybe having a hero and a villain, or without having, I don't know, but without falling into an obvious trap of like the everyday cop is the hero and they save the day in the end. Kind of, this is an aside, but just like one really cool kind of theme, I guess, of Fargo is that a lot of the time it's about the story is happening, whether or not the main characters are involved or not. It feels like things go on and things are happening. They're good characters, well-written characters that engage and do things. But at the same time, there's this sort of like undercurrent theme of like these events are sort of not destiny, but like it sort of alludes to this sort of mystery of reality, and how things are like chance, how things are, things are luck and chance, being in the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the wrong time. And it's got so many good themes. I could go on and on actually about Fargo. It's great. And I mean, Disco Elysium is one of my favourite games of all time. 100%. Anyway, It's always fun doing little references, drawing little random things on these graffiti pieces. I want to do some more. It's always good. But I appreciate you just like shoving on this whatever you're doing. I hope you've enjoyed it a little bit. I feel like maybe this is like a sort of a dark. These are the dark times. These are the dark times. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark outside. These times are gloomy. There's dark things going on in the world. Free Palestine, of course. The atrocities that Israel's committing against an entire group of people can't be understated how horrendous it is and how one-sided it is and how weird and biased the media is. Anyway, yeah, art. The art's the main thing. I hope you're getting through these dark times. More art, hopefully, on the way. I hope I can get out of this funk. I hope you can get out of this funk and we can be a bit more bomb rush cyberpunk and less depressed, burnt out, bummed out funk. You know? Time to hype me up. Hyping you up, you're making your things. Don't stop on my account. If I've just bummed you out, don't stop on my account. I want you to carry on going with your crazy projects. I want you to create some stuff and post it. I'm feeling negative about social media, but that doesn't mean that you should too. You post that video, you make that stuff. Post it to Twitter, Instagram, wherever, we'll have it. Shove it out there. You never know what's going to happen. That's like my genuine advice. You never know who's going to see it. Doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, you might as well. You might as well share it. That's a good thing to do. But to try and like grapple that energy as we're reaching the end of this long tragic video. Trying to hype myself up for some drawings. We want a new intro. I'm sick of the intro. You're sick of the intro. We want a new intro. We're gonna animate that. We want some more characters. We want some more comic environment art. I need to start drawing buildings, scenes, backgrounds. We want some new pixel art, don't we? We want some more little GIFs, some landscapes, some impressive pixel art. Because there are people out there making great shit. Waneella's always killing it, making fucking Steam page posts. Got all sorts. Concept artists just scribbling out immaculate landscapes. You know, someone who's great and is also tired. I just want a weird little shout out. Just someone who's in my like internet bubble is the artist Julian, who makes pixel art. He's always like, I think he's much younger than me. I don't know how much more, but he's definitely way younger. And he's also been sharing out how he's like struggling with posts and stuff. But whenever I see his stuff, I'm like, you're killing it. You're making amazing stuff. The world is just shit. The clutches of capitalism have their claws in you, and me, and everyone. And things could be different. And that's why you've got to keep fighting for things to be different. You've got to keep those ideas alive. You've got to be an idealist. You've got to keep those thoughts and ideas of what the world could be always alive, even when you're bummed out, even when you're like, well, this is all shit, I've got no energy and I can't do anything. As long as you still haven't abandoned those ideals, that's what's needed to sustain it, the revolution, the rebellion, because that's what we're about, okay? Keeping that energy, that creativity up, imagining futures that haven't been made yet. And we've come to the end of the video now. I'm sorry that this mic like picks up all the rattlings of my table and my chair. I hope you're making it through. You're keeping up the fight. Good luck out there, traveller. I'll see you soon. I hope. Who knows what will happen? What I'll post or when. Did you know though, if you press... Did I say this already? But did you know that if I said smash that like button in a video once, and then I rewatched it back, and I saw that YouTube now like makes the like button glow. Weird. They're like committing psychological warfare on you just for engagement. Don't do it. We need to work against it. We need to hack into the system, into the mainframes. Create this solar punk future. Fight the blue meanies. Something beautiful is going to happen. That's some Disco Elysium. For people not in the know, that's some Disco Elysium graffiti. that you can choose to write. Right, I've got to go. Happy New Year. I'll see you soon, hopefully. I appreciate you for watching this video. I appreciate me for just giving it a go. Appreciative of that. I even made this thing and I drew it and I made this and I bothered to edit it. It's something.
I did a painting. Nice. That's it.